Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, with all the controversy of Teofimo Lopez's last decision win over Jermaine Ortiz, he actually did an interview right before the fight, where in this segment, he's talking about his fights being scripted. And he's making himself look really bad in this interview because the guy who's interviewing him, his name is Wayne, he's constantly forcing Teofimo Lopez to contradict himself. You see, Teo is not used to doing real interviews. In other words, he's not used to being asked real questions. Teo is just used to making up everything as he goes when he does interviews without anything he says being challenged. In any other sport, you are always asked the toughest questions. It doesn't matter if the person who's interviewing you is your number one fan. They're still going to ask you the tough questions. This is what made people like Oprah Winfrey or Larry King some of the biggest journalists in the world. So with that being said, this guy who's doing this interview with Teofimo Lopez, he's not even the host of the show. He was basically brought on the show as a co-host because he was the guy that knew about boxing. If it wasn't for this guy Wayne, there would be no questions, no real questions asked of Teofimo. This guy Wayne, he completely put Teofimo in the hot seat because unlike the majority of these other interviewers, this guy Wayne, he held Teofimo Lopez accountable for the ridiculous things that he was saying, for the ridiculous excuses he was making. I'm going to go ahead and play the clip and show you guys what I'm talking about.
You feel like your fight with Kambosos
Absolutely.
was scripted?
It was definitely scripted. But what happened was that my ego got in the way, knowing that
So did you know it was scripted?
Did I know it was scripted?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or did you figure it
not.
out afterwards?
That's the only way you find out the devil's hand.
Yeah, but how could it be scripted, Teo, when he dropped
Because
you?
that's business.
He dropped you, though.
In the first round, but I dropped him in the 10th. And he
Yeah, so
woke
how
up.
was any of that scripted?
I'm the champion. I dropped him in the 10th. Isn't it?
No.
The champion has to be, you have to beat,
gotta
the,
beat
champion.
the champ.
Right,
Yeah.
but how is it scripted if
How is it
those
scripted?
two things
Fam,
happen?
I got a flash knockdown. When I dropped Kambosos, he couldn't get up.
Teo also said the Kambosos fight was scripted. What's your thought on that, Mr.
What do you
Aaron?
mean scripted?
This is what Teo said. He felt like the Kambosos fight was scripted.
I don't know what that means, but again, as I said, I had nothing to do with that fight because I didn't promote it.
Yes, sir.
That was a purse bid that was won by another promoter. So again, I mean, I don't know what he means by being scripted. I mean, that sort of makes no sense, but maybe his meaning is eluding us.
So Teofimo Lopez, once again, he says that the Kambosos fight was scripted, but Teofimo got knocked down in the fight. And you can't use your health excuses for why you got knocked down because he got knocked down with a perfect counter right hand over his jab. He's also been knocked down multiple times in sparring before. Remember, guys, Teofimo is the same guy that called Deontay Wilder a bitch when he lost to Tyson Fury. He told Wilder to stop making excuses for why he lost and just man up. And this is why those microphones are so dangerous, man. And they can come back to really haunt you. Because I can guarantee you guys, Teofimo Lopez is going to lose again. And he's going to have another excuse. He ain't going to man up. He's going to have another excuse for why he lost. I mean, so far, it could be said that Teofimo Lopez has already lost 3 out of his last 5 fights. And the losses were not against Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis, Terrence Crawford, or Shakur Stevenson. They were against fighters like George Kambosos. And Teofimo Lopez is the fighter that turned down the rematch. Something that greats never do. You can't call yourself the best if you don't even truly believe it deep down in your own heart. And if you're going to make excuses for why you lost and saying you wasn't 100%, that's the whole reason why you do the rematch. To show people what you can do when you're 100%. Show everybody that this guy was never on your level. But he didn't do that because he knew it was too much of a risk. He knew losing to Kambosos back-to-back would destroy his career completely. And it would be much harder for him to come back from that. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, the fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodekey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.